Hey guys, welcome to my first ever video. Now, today I'll be taking my first trade on a qualified account. So I have done the eval and I do wish I documented that, but we're here now. So the P&L is zero, as you can see, win rate, everything's zero, 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 everything's brand new. We're on a 50K account with Alpha Futures. Did a little bit of research. Basically, the information I gathered was it's best for beginners cost-wise and user-wise. So we'll learn on here and see how we go. But I'll get to my trading strategy. So far, I really only know one trading strategy, which is on the 15-minute time frame. I'm trading on the 8 a.m. EST candle. Now, for me, it's midnight, but we're going off EST here. So on the 15-minute time frame from 8 to 8:15, I mark out the top and bottom of this candle. As you can see, it's already been closed because we are now at, well, it's 12:26 for me, but it is 8:26 EST. And so we're on the second candle now. But so yes, you mark out the top and bottom. I also put in this 50% midway marker, I guess you could call it, and I'll explain that in a second. So the concept of this trading strategy, sorry, I should say, is it's a break and retest, which means you wait for it to break out to either the short or long position. It doesn't matter. You got to be unbiased. Um, Now, the simplest way to explain it is once it breaks out, you want it to break out 3 to 5 points at least, I'd say, but you don't also want it to go too much from what I've gathered, like just from experience, because then it sort of gets carried away. But if it breaks out a bit, and then you want it to retest, and you want it to retest this midway marker, which is like the 50% line. And once it retests here, then you go in your position. So for an example, it has been lingering around here on this second candle. So if it breaks out, let's say it breaks out to about here and then retests here, I would then buy in my short position. So that's the trading strategy I'll go with today. I just wanted to explain it first before I got into a trade. So it obviously made sense. Now, on my eval, I did do 3 contracts, which I think is a bit ballsy, but I was kind of like in my head, I figured like just get the eval done and then, when there's real money to be made, take your time. So I am going to scale back to just 1 contract for today at least, just while I'm actually in my first qualified trade. There's actual money at stake here. So I figured I do trust my strategy, but I also don't want to blow an account when I've taken like all this effort and, also money invested into it. So yes, that is the trading strategy I'm going with today. I hope that makes sense. And as soon as there's a break and retest that's been done, I will cut to it because, it'd be way too boring to sit here for an hour with me. But yes, I'll speak to you guys soon. Okay, now I've got some bad news. There was a bit of a technical difficulty. To be completely honest, it is my first time using this whole app called OBS, and I'm not sure what went wrong. The face cam was working, audio was working, but it seemed like the screen was frozen. I don't know why that happened, but I just reset it and it seems to be working now. I've tested it, everything's all good. So I am in the trade live right now. So I'll just explain what happened, my thought process, and go over everything, considering it's all been missed out now. Okay, now I'm sure you're thinking there was a breakout and a retest, and why didn't you buy here? Now, to be completely honest, it only broke out 2 points, and as I'm not sure if you remember earlier, but I did mention I like a 3 to 5 point breakout. It just helps me feel a little more secure with the guaranteed of the direction it's heading. Now, I've had trades where it only breaks out 1 or 2 points, and I was getting impatient, so I bought in as it retested. And I think it's the breakout isn't strong enough to determine the way it's going. So when I bought here, it would go down and I'd hit my stop loss and I'd waste my time and money. So I've sort of made a rule at least 3 points, which as you can see is here at 31, because this is 28 right here. So 6828 and it hit 6831. Well, it actually went past that. It went to 6831.75, which means it went to just under 4 points out, which is what we're looking for. It retested. I bought in. You might be thinking to yourself, why didn't you buy in at the very bottom? To be completely honest, another thing from experience I've learned is not to wait for the perfect moment. Now, as you can see here, if I bought in, this is where I bought in, to be completely honest, and I bought here. But as you can see, if we look here, you can see it did not meet the 50% marker. If I waited for that, let's say, I know this happened here, but let's say it didn't and it broke out, I would have missed out on the whole trade for what, zero point 0.5 of a point? See, it's not worth it. That is literally a couple dollars I'm trying to make extra, and I've lost out on hundreds of dollars if this trade is successful. In my mind, it's just not really worth perfectly timing it. Obviously, stick to your plan, stick to your strategy, have your rules, have your boundaries, have your limits. Of course, you need that. But I mean, when you get down to that real tiny detail, I think it's unnecessary just because you can miss out on opportunities altogether. So I'm currently just sitting here waiting in the trade. It's a bit of consolidation going on right now, which does happen. Sometimes it breaks straight out. Here we go. We got a bit of momentum. And sometimes it shoots up, sorry, and sometimes it takes its time and then goes. Now, as you can see, we're getting somewhere. Um, we're at 62. This is USD. That's also something to keep in mind. So I'd say that's roughly about $100 right now. Uh, Now, I think when it gets to around this point here, I'll move stop loss to break even, but I'll let it run for now and then I'll cut back to it when it gets a bit more interesting. Okay, guys, now as you can see, nothing is happening today. So the break and retest must have been here. Obviously, it was here. You can see that it was here. But my point being, there wasn't really a huge trade to be taken for this break and retest. Sometimes it doesn't happen, sometimes it doesn't work, but I've found majority of the times it does work. Today was not one of them days. Strictly because this is my first trade video, I'm still gonna post it no matter what. So I figured I can't leave it like this. So I will try take one more trade, and I think it's gonna be a short because as you can see here, it is in a pretty bearish downtrend at the moment. There's only lower highs and lower lows at the moment. So I do want it to bounce up a little bit and then I will short. Once this comes back up, I'll take my position and then we'll see how we go. But I'll cut back to that once that's done. Okay, guys, now we are in a trade again. I have short it. It did bounce where I wanted it to. So I will now set my stop loss. Doesn't really matter too much. I'll set it maybe just here because I feel like that's where it would be breaking out. Now I'm just going to try to take profit at about 300, just a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Nothing too crazy. I'll keep you guys updated with how I go. Now, hopefully, we can make a bit of money just to keep it interesting for you guys. All right, guys. Now, as you can see, I did close that second trade. It says we've lost two trades here. To be completely honest with you, that second trade wasn't going anywhere either. Now, I did look back the last 48 hours, it's just consolidated within that 5 point range almost. So, in my head, it was quite pointless sticking around hoping for a big breakout or anything at that point when it's this late. Now, as you can see, it was only $80 loss over both trades. So it's almost like breaking even in my head, to be completely honest. The market didn't go anywhere. I just decided to close it out and leave it at that. I could have taken profit both times, so these both could have been winning trades, but it would have been, almost like $100, $200 max in profit. So I'm not mad that I handled it the way I did, and I'm sorry I couldn't get any really exciting trades going for you guys. I do have to post this because it's my first trade, but thank you for sticking around. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.